out there, we get all these DMs. Everyone claims that they have the magic sauce, but I'll say work with Dan. It's not about the magic sauce. It's actually based on real information, real data, and just continue working, and you'll hit your goals. I'm pretty confident. So, we're based almost about to hit our 10,000 order in less than 2 years. And that's definitely my favorite part here. I never feel left out. I always can review. I can always have questions, and I always get very quick responses back. So that's a key part of what I appreciate the most.
Two more things, man. I mean, for you, obviously, you've worked with all stages of the business, right? From the very start, and then obviously now, right, for quite a long time now. I guess what is kind of your favorite part? Working with you one-on-one.
Yeah, I think again, a big part of it has been paid acquisition in terms of having the right campaign structures, the right testing structures, and importantly, having a profitable. So this is basically just from ground zero, right, to having scaled in all phases from, 0 to that 10K month, to hitting that 20K month, to, I feel what month are we in July, just 2 months ago, we hit a 30K.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, let's get into it, man. First of all, bro, if you could give a little introduction of who you are, the type of brand you run, and all that, and we'll take it from there, man.
Yeah, definitely. My name is Ibrahima. I am the founder and owner of an athleisure headwear brand called Brima. So what we do is we combine performance with protecting your hair. So specifically for Black/Afro hair types, we make headwear that allows you to be as active as you can while protecting your hair. And we solve a lot of the problems we encounter with the daily use of head wraps, such as things falling off when you go to sleep. These are problems we solve with the headwear we design.
Awesome. Always wrapping the product, man. I see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, we've actually worked with you when you sort of first started, if I remember correctly, right? When you were sort of first in being stage. Give me sort of an overview, man. Where were you sort of before, and sort of where are we right now in terms of brand? Obviously before joining, and obviously right now, currently.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of growth from when we just first started, where, from the first ads, when we just launched our online store, it's kind of starting to launch our initial ads. So this is basically just from ground zero, right? To, having scaled in all phases from, 0 to that 10K month, to hitting that 20K month, to, I feel what month are we? We're in July, just 2 months ago, we hit a 30K month.
Awesome.
It's been quite a growth journey.
Yeah.
And a big part of it has been paid acquisition in terms of, having the right campaign structures, the right testing structures, and importantly, having a profitable return on ad spend. A big part of it is not just spending money on ads, but making sure that it actually is impactful and positive to your bottom line as well. So yeah, it's been quite the growth journey from zero all the way to let's say getting that to that 30K mark.
0 to 30. I mean, for you, bro, how does it feel? Obviously, you've been running the brand. I mean, obviously, you're very passionate about the product you provide to the customers. Yes. I mean, in terms of revenue standpoint, and obviously outside of revenue, right? How does it feel hitting that number and sort of the brand you built for yourself?
Oh, I mean, it's very validating for any startup brand in terms of believing in your product, believing in your mission, and most importantly, the customers because at the end of the day, whatever we're doing is to solve a problem that, people encounter. For me, what I encountered in, a large demographic in the United States and in the world encounters. So just getting that feedback, it's really a snowball effect of, as you continue to have more people use your product and see the value and benefit, that's just kind of a snowball effect that happens. So, to just it's kind of still mind-boggling, things that were just your own ideas you had, and, we're almost about to hit our 10,000 order in less than 2 years. So
awesome.
just seeing how in a short amount of time that impact is super validating for a startup brand. And if you're wondering whether or not people can see your idea, can see your vision, can see what you're building, I think you just kind of have to take it day by day, and you look around, and you're just just kind of seeing the results appear. The only thing I'll even add, like just 2 days ago, a friend of mine just sent me a picture of they were watching Sports Center on ESPN,
Yeah.
and it was a baseball player for the New York Mets, and he had the Brima skull cap on, and you could see the logo. So that's a key
awesome.
part of, you don't know who's purchasing your products. It can just appear on national TV as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about the journey and what keeps you going.
Awesome. So run me through it, man. Like before you sort of obviously started working with me specifically, like what was kind of like your day-to-day like when it comes to the brand? Like where were you at in terms of everything?
Yeah, I mean, before we start, I mean, we've worked in many phases, right? We've worked in the first phase we worked in was just, setting the foundations of building a paid acquisition channel through Meta ads. So start actually creative testing and running campaigns, and that's kind of started keeping the snowball rolling of, building that top of the funnel to our website. So I think that was the first foundational aspect of working with you. That's phase one, building the foundation of testing your funnel of, do you have, effective creative strategy, effective ads that send people to your website, and how well are you converting? And building the foundation of that was the first phase. And then obviously the second phase of our partnership here has really been now how do you kind of keep having that incremental scale? And that's been kind of more of UK now, the accumulation of all of the things we've done. That's where we've been able to scale, especially when we have healthy inventory, especially with our bestsellers. We now know that, okay, the structure is proven when stock is, when we have good inventory. Like I said, we can scale to up to that 20 to 30. Now we're targeting 40, 50. I think right now we just know the biggest bottleneck we have is actually meeting the demand by having enough inventory. But, now being able to show that we can scale to those 30, 40, 50K months by having a proper structure. So those are the two phases that, working with you, that we've been able to go through.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's like operationally, it's kind of different. Obviously, like scaling 0 to 10, you rarely have problems with like stock. It's mostly just making sure you test the right things and you figure out the right content first. And then right now, I think you may have seen this as well, like lots of time when stock does run out, then our return over has to just drops. And it's like, I think from 10 to 30, it's about a lot to do with media buying, a lot more, making sure you make the right decisions out of the ad account in terms of KPIs and everything. And I think one of the hardest things sometimes with media buying is like making sure you make decisions off numbers and not emotion. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes like when you see sales go up and you see sales go down, it's like you kind of react. I think that's one of the biggest things. But I guess like for you, I know you've worked in like all two phases of sort of our fulfillment, right? From the very beginning, and obviously once you're already doing 10K, 20K, I guess. For you, like what were you kind of struggling with the most before you sort of started joining here? Started working with you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's much so, it's like as founders, you can't really do everything. And I think this was just a part of, having a trusted partner when it comes to running the paid acquisition channel, specifically through Meta, that, I realized that from a time investment standpoint, once I got a basic understanding of how running ads work on Meta, you needed to find someone who can actually dedicate the time and investment to do it better than I am. So, and that's a big part of it. It's a trust factor, right? Someone you can trust that, understands your vision, can also execute based on numbers, not based on emotions. And I think that was what I was looking for. And, obviously us crossing paths, it's shown that this is the right partnership, and it's been allowing me to now continue to focus on other areas, but also supporting it.
Kind of walk me through it, man, because I guess like a lot of the founders that are kind of in your position as well, right? They like to sort of do it themselves. They like to research, they like to do it themselves until they actually hit like a specific bottleneck. I guess for you, what was kind of like the self-realization that you couldn't do this alone? Like when was that? Did you have like a certain moment that you hit that, or was it kind of just something you knew all the way along?
I mean, of course, like you need to talk to other founders at all levels and realize that what scaling, if you have the intentions of scaling and growing, I think delegation is a natural part of it. And I think founders, you have to also understand it's not a, hey, Dan, you just go and run this, I'm out. Like you still have visibility. You can still, ask questions and understand the strategy of the tactics. So you're not just taking a back seat, really. Like I've never felt like I have to say, oh, go and run, media buying and paid acquisition for me and just let me know what happens. Like
Yeah.
you're actually part of the process. You can access the accounts, you can see the performance, you can ask questions and see the strategy. So if anything, you're still a core part of it as
Yeah.
well. So I've never
Yeah.
felt like I just delegated and just walked away and said that was it. I've always been a part of the whole process.
Yeah. Awesome. Bro, let me ask you, man, like, do you remember how you sort of first heard about us? Like, where was that? Do you remember?
I would say probably maybe on Instagram.
Instagram.
I think it was Instagram DM in terms of, hey, are you looking for someone to
Yeah.
do
Fair
a
enough.
position for you? And I was like, yeah, it sounds like it might.
I know, obviously, I'm talking about like a second phase when you were doing 10K, and obviously we've scaled from 10 to 30. Like, I always ask this question, like, before working, did you have any doubts or fears before you sort of started working again, or was that kind
Yeah,
of
of course. There are doubts, of course, because, as founders, we're in the space where everyone is over promising and under delivering. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Everyone says they're gonna get you to 1 million a month, or try and sell you these, Cinderella type of scaling of ads. We just gonna show up, and next minute you have the richest business it is, and that's not what you want. You don't actually need to hear people selling you dreams. Really, it's never gonna happen as quickly as you think it is. It's never gonna happen as easy as it is. You just need to keep making data informed decisions, be consistent, and then it starts to compound. So you need someone who can. It's not a lottery. You're not just gonna all of a sudden just run one ad and just think that maybe for some it might, but shouldn't be your expectation. You should be looking for incremental growth that allows you to have a lot of data and insights to continue to make better decisions. And over time, that compounds. You look around, you'll see a 20K, you'll see a 30K. So that's just what it is. Just being very realistic and a little bit pragmatic, and that's kind of how you navigate those things.
When you joined back again, man, sort of walk me through, what do you think the biggest change, like, immediately was for your brand specifically?
Yeah, I would say obviously we're going back to talking about our paid acquisition through Meta, and I think a lot of it has to be really is simplifying our campaigns that we're doing. I think a lot of things.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
We were very fragmented. We were running, several different types of campaigns. I don't know if this is the call to go into technicalities, but yeah, it was just, very complicated structure. But you just found a way to simplify our campaigns and utilize very effective strategies of testing, A/B testing, the same formats in ad sets. So again, I don't want to tell all your strategies, but a big part of what a simplification of the campaigns, how we were setting up our ad accounts, and then ensuring that based on that, it allows more consistent performance where ads are not working against each other, but they're essentially working with each other. So you're never dependent on one ad just being working. It's now a group collective effort. That's the best way I've described like what's been changing. It was no longer you need this one ad to continue performing. It was now like creating multiple groups in which now the effort is collective, and overall that yielded better performance.
I think especially with the new Endrmeter update as well, it's like that was during the time when you sort of relaunched the game as well, right?
Exactly.
Where everything was kind of changing. Obviously, Endrmeter was huge. Obviously, it's like a lot of more diversification. Rather used to before, it's like you could just iterate, and that kind of counted as could do creative. But right now, it's like we sort of lack iterations and we more diversify creatives as well.
For sure.
I guess obviously you hitting 30K, obviously from like where you were before. Like, if you could boil down to sort of one of the biggest changes you've made or we've made specifically, what do you think it was to contribute to 30K if you're hitting that?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say it's everything I just echoed again with, so many changes with Meta and how it impacts how you structure your campaigns and all of that. I just do think that a big part of, what we saw at 30K, it started maybe a couple of months ago when you streamline and simplify the ad account and set up this new structure. What you saw at 30K is the compounding effect of that. So again, the only right now our only bottleneck is having the inventory to continue to do so.
It's
But
good problem to have, I guess.
well, and that's the thing, and that's the key lesson is you can make the changes now. If someone starts working with you and you make the changes, it's not an instant result. What you're gonna really see those results kick in maybe at month 2 or month 3.
Yeah.
And that's what it really was. Yes, there was steady growth. We were heading there, like it was growing.
Yeah.
But again, if you're asking me, okay, when did you look around and next minute, like, oh, we had a 30K month, for example. I'm like, that started three months ago when you changed the account structure. And now, we're building momentum again. So
Yeah.
a big part of it is that it really is a compounding thing. The results, it's like working out, going to the gym, you're not going to see the results day 1, day 2. But, around month 3, month 4 of consistency, as long as you're now proven method, like that's when you're going to look around and you're like, oh shit, I'm jacked.
Yeah. Was there anything that surprised you the most specifically, or you kind of not really?
No, I mean, I don't think I was necessarily surprised because again, like you said, a big part of this is you have to make decisions based on data and versus emotion. So you just have to trust what the numbers are seeing, and you as a founder, you have a feel of it. You can tell what a good week looks like sometimes without not even the numbers, but when what you naturally sense in your business are matching the numbers and you're seeing a momentum, that's a big part of it. Like it's a momentum based. I see paid acquisition really, especially through Meta, it's a momentum based sports. When there's momentum, you start seeing days stacking up, weeks stacking up. You're having good days, good days, good days, good days, good weeks, good weeks, and the numbers are backing it. You're looking at all the metrics and they're all green, trending upwards. That means that you're now gaining momentum based on what strategy you're doing. So I always judge it based on momentum.
Yeah, awesome. I guess I think you mentioned this before as well. It's like, what was probably for you the biggest problem that we helped solve for you within your business? Obviously, getting you that 30K. Is it just mainly just ad acquisition and campaign structure, or what really was it in your own opinion?
I think just having a profitable ad kind of like paid ads channel really, because yes, you may see growth. Paid acquisition through ads is pretty effective in the world we're in e-commerce, but for me it's important that you're just not spending dollars and you're not at a profitable return on ad spend. So I think we've talked about it largely. You have to understand how much should you really be spending to justify what you're spending money on. So you look at your unit economics. You need to understand what allows you to continue to run ads profitably. And I think that was a big shift, is you can spend a lot of money on ads and have a lot of revenue, but again, how much are you getting to keep? If you look at how much it will cost you to make your product, how much it's costing you to get acquire the customer, so making sure that when you run ads, and especially if you decide to scale, it is always at a profitable margin. That's the main thing. Like if I'm not profitable, I'll be like, let's not scale down, because that's the goal. So I think paid ads, should be a profitable channel, especially unless you have like VC money or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this question because I think it'll be pretty cool looking back at this as well, man. Like, where do you sort of see yourself, man, in 12 months' time? Let's just say a year from now, in terms of your business and everything, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, as we're talking about, 30K months, a year from now, I'm hoping I'm we're talking about, looking how do you getting to 100K month, past that 50, 60K month, you're just always wanting year over year, month over month growth. That's kind of what you're seeking, and making sure you're growing profitably. So it's not about the destination though, it's always about the journey. So as long as we're continue to learn and understand ways to reach customers, and acquire customers profitably, add
Yeah.
value to that, and the results of adding value to the customers is our
Yeah.
revenue continuing to grow and our ads continuing to grow. Let it happen. But like that's just kind of how I see it. It's really all about the journey. We hope next year this time, we're now around that 100K a month
That'd be
threshold.
awesome.
But again, it's down to what are we doing tomorrow, day after
Yeah.
tomorrow. How are we making sure every day we're providing the infrastructure to eventually get there and adding value to customers? So yeah, it sounds kind of sometimes cheesy. Always all about the customers, all about the mission, and it's not about the revenue targets and all. Yes and no at the same time. Like the first priority has to be continue to deliver your products, like high quality, good products to the customer, have a good mission.
Yes.
But you also want your efforts to be rewarded by continue to increase in terms of having more resources, more capital in your business to continue to do that, and having a paid acquisition channel that is profitable allows you to do that. So you can do both. You can still have aggressive, ambitious revenue targets, while also making sure that it's aligned with your mission and adding value to your customer.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask you this question. Actually, there's two questions. Number one is sort of, obviously you've been through all stages of building the business. Obviously you've started this when it was completely zero. Obviously that's when we sort of first touched base as well. Like if you were to sort of tell a brand owner, I guess, that is completely starting out, starting a new brand, like what would you sort of tell them specifically? They were completely new.
If there's anything,
yes, but your advice, yeah.
Again, I just do think you have to. I think a lot of brand owners, if you're new, we tend to think things are gonna happen very quickly for us, and we are enamored by quick results. And the problem is, all we see around us is people who have reached the mountaintop, people who are saying they're doing 30, 50, they're doing like 100K months or 200, 300. All you see around you is people who've climbed their whole mountains. They're at the top and they're waving their flag, and that can be a lot of noise, and it can largely bring negative reinforcements that maybe your idea is not working, maybe your product's not working. But a big part of it is really having a tunnel vision and really telling yourself, you know what, if you make no sales for a whole month, that doesn't mean that you're gonna quit. Like you have to be willing to kind of go through that learning curve of nothing happening. You can't let your emotions kind of get in the way of what your vision is. You can't have a bad ad day or bad spend day impact you and you feel like, oh, everything's gonna go bad. Or you can have a whole month you're not profitable, you didn't make any money, and then you think that, oh, like this is not a good idea. This is what being a business is. This is the startup phase. Like your first 2-3 years, you're not supposed to make any profit. You're supposed to just using this for learning and understanding what it takes to really bring your vision to life. So to new founders, you just have to embrace delayed gratification. Don't tell people what you're doing until it's done. And just always, keep that tunnel vision. Only focus on yourself. Like, be inspired, be motivated, but comparison is a thief of joy in the business we're in. It's your idea, it's your vision. It came to you for a reason. So don't let another person's vision or whatever their success might look like impact or bring any self-doubt. So you really have to remove self-doubt from your mind.
You said it beautifully, man. I think you said it beautifully, man. I guess obviously you're in a position where obviously you've hit 30K a month, right? Obviously the goal right now is 50K a month, right? 50, 60, 70K a month. Like knowing what you know now, right? What do you wish you'd done sooner working on this brand, man?
What I wish I did sooner?
Done sooner, yeah.
I got
any aspects.
In general?
Yeah, in general, yeah, within the brand.
Yeah. I mean, again, I just think it's part of, you have to read the signal. I wish, I was more, I would say, aggressive when it comes to making sure I had enough inventory available, because you might have the best ad structure, you might have the best campaigns, the best assets, but at the end of the day, if people don't have what they want available to buy, that 30K month could have been a 40, 50K month the
Yeah.
following month, had I had that same inventory. So I think you have to react very quickly. It is hard though in a product-based business with
Mm.
you're making your product, how long it gets it, but you have to find a way to move a little bit more urgent and proactive. Always be prepared for spikes, and when they happen, ride that momentum as much as you can. And riding that momentum, that wave is basically how much product you have available.
Yeah.
So the moment that product available is out of stock, that wave is gone. So I think
You
that's
can
just
see the results as well.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Two more things, man. I mean, for you, obviously, we've worked with all stages of your business, right? From
Yeah.
the very start, and then obviously now, right? For quite a long time now. I guess what is kind of your favorite part? Work with me one-on-one.
Yeah, I think again, it's a big part of I never feel like I'm left out. I don't
Mm.
feel like I don't know what's going on and I can't ask questions. I can't challenge you on ideas, challenge you on anything that I feel like maybe this might not be the right direction. I think that's something I appreciate the most, is having that open channel of communication. It's not a one-way street. Like, you're always open to my ideas. You're always, open to when I challenge or question some of your strategies and want to understand what's the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
So it really is a collaborative team-based partnership here, which I truly appreciate. And that's definitely my favorite part here. I never feel left out. I always can review. I can always have questions, and I always get very quick responses back. So that's a key part of what I appreciate the most.
Awesome. Awesome. I appreciate kind words, man.
Yeah.
Last one, bro. If you were talking to a brand owner, right, and they were kind of on the fence about joining or work with me one-on-one, like what would you say to them?
Yeah, I was just right there with you. Like I said, you had Dan as a brand owner. Like, and I get some of the brand owners do DM me and say, "Hey, have you worked with Brand?" I'm always like, "Yeah, I work with him." Like, I know exactly what you feel. I know exactly what you feel. Like, who's this guy? Or you just don't feel like you can just trust anybody. And like, I was right there with you. Like, I was there. Like, if the brand owner seeing it, trust me, I was there. We get all these DMs. Everyone claims that they have the magic sauce. But I'll say work with Dan. It's not about the magic sauce. It's actually based on real information, real data, and just continue working, and you'll hit your goals. I'm pretty confident. So yeah, just that's a brand owner I'll say is if you're ever wondering, you're on the fence. I was right there with you, and like I said, if you hear my story here, just know that like I'm a living testament that this can lead to a good collaboration for you and your business as well.
Awesome. 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 Once again, man, that's all I have today, man.